Jaco the Clown lives in a delusional world. Each Tuesday, also known as Jaco Tuesday, he is released from the safety of the Acme Mental Hospital in order to host his own podcast show, See My Mind. Welcome to the show.
Greetings, dear viewers, and welcome to See My Mind, the greatest podcast in the world. I'm your host, Jaco. Well, after last week's show, I received many emails from the cow community calling on me to return to my childhood farm as their leader once again. I'm flattered, truly, but I'm simply unable. Life is officially in the way now. However, I'll be sure to plan a visit to the farm in the near future to see how everyone is getting along. It will be a splendid reunion.
Jaco, we're all set for the hypnosis segment now.
Yes, the hypnosis segment. Dr. Snedley's big moment to shine.
Okay, Dr. Snedley, Jaco's ready.
Thank you, Bobby. Hello, Jaco. Get comfortable and close your eyes, and when you hear the snap of my fingers, you'll be deep asleep, but still able to hear my voice. And... now, Jaco, I want to take you back to your days as a Supercross Racer.
I can still smell the racing fuel as though it were yesterday, Dr. Snedley.
How did you get started racing motorcycles, Jaco?
A childhood neighbor of mine got a mini bike for Christmas one year, and he let me take it for a spin. I didn't return home for the next 5 hours. Turns out I had some change, in my pocket, which I used to refuel the gas tank a few times. By the time I returned home, it was dark, and I had to have one too.
So your parents bought you a mini bike?
Well, I talked them into skipping over the mini bike and buying me a full-size dirt bike. I was growing fast back then.
Where did you ride it?
I rode it everywhere, even taught myself how to do all my own maintenance work. When all of the neighborhood kids were out playing, I'd be riding, learning how to ride fast. I started jumping curbs, then I progressed to jumping cars, then jumping houses. I like to jump things.
When did you get into organized racing, Jaco?
It was shortly after I got my first dirt bike. I couldn't wait to race. I lived for it. Fortunately, there was a track near my home, so I would just ride my dirt bike over there every day. I never missed a race. I raced in all the age brackets. I never lost a race.
You were winning right from the beginning?
That's what I just said. About a year into it, I outgrew my first bike. It just wasn't fast enough anymore. So I built my first custom dirt bike. Instead of using a chain, I installed a drive shaft and an automatic transmission. I also installed a 3-stroke engine, which was, one more than anyone else had.
And it was faster?
Yes, it was a lot faster. Especially since I began making my own special racing fuel. 1 part sewing machine oil, 2 parts liquid oxygen, and 5 parts grape Pedialyte. I wheelied for laps around the track.
What did you do during races to make sure you won?
Well, for starters, I would eat some of the dirt from the track before every race to help me with my tire selection.
You ate dirt to help you with your tire selection?
You like to repeat the things that I say, don't you? That's an annoying little habit. You should see somebody about that.
What else did you do to win races, Jaco?
Well, the main thing I did different from everyone else is that I would twist the throttle wide open and hold it there throughout the entire race, just leaning hard for all the turns. I only used the brake once at the end of the race. Oh, and I would also push other riders aside with my hands and feet, and mix it up a little. I viewed Supercross as a contact sport.
Is that legal?
I never asked anyone if it was legal. My policy is don't ask, don't tell. Also, I never wore a helmet. What's the point? I wanted to hear the crowd cheering, and it would have also prevented my competitors from hearing me trash talk them, during the race.
What made you stop racing, Jaco?
I was ready for a new challenge, Dr. Snedley. Nobody ever came close to beating me, so I'd had enough. I never looked back.
That's just an amazing story, Jaco. Well, thank you for sharing it with me once again today. You created such a beautiful painting of your days as a Supercross racer, and I know you want to see it, so let's bring you back now. Okay, look deep into my eyes, and when I snap my fingers, you'll be on stage in your unveiling theater. And...
Thank you. Please be seated. Good evening, everyone. Well, I'll never forget my days as a Supercross racer, all over the gas and pushing riders out of my way. Well, it's now time for me to pull the cord to reveal my masterpiece painting entitled Supercross Racer.
And so it was. Please stay tuned for next week's episode of See My Mind, entitled Chef de Cuisine, starring Jaco the Clown.